So I'm here to tell you that print on demand is not dead, and moreover, you can still compete in saturated niches if you have something unique that stands out. So I'm going to do something that most sellers won't do, and that is share one of my top sellers. And the reason why I'm doing this is it's because it was in a niche that was super saturated, the 250th 4th of July niche, and now that's over, and this probably won't sell ever again. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I did, how I researched it, what I did to stand out, and what I used to create this design. So before I do that, I'm going to share with you the social proof. I'm going to show you the design and how many sales it made in such a short time. All right, so here I am on Amazon. You can see this is the design that I did, 250, 1776, 2026. So it's for the 250th. You can see right here in my tags. And it's Ben Franklin and George Washington making hand signs. So you can see, let me see, this is Productor. Not everybody sees this, but this is the Productor plugin. So you can see how many sales I have. And you can see right there, it made 77 sales in such a short time. When did I post it? If I scroll down here, June 25, 2026. So it was for the 4th of July. What is that, like nine days before the 4th of July? So not very long. It was super saturated at that point, right? The 4th of July stuff, we saw it everywhere. But even though I only put it less than 2 weeks before the 4th of July, I got 77 sales already at a price point of $24.99, getting me $8 per sale. And what's even better is I put it on all the different products. So I put it on this one, which is a tank top. You can see this one got 72 sales at $25.99, and also was put on June 25th, 2026. So very soon, or the same day actually, but very close to the July 4th. Now, because this was selling, I hurried and did another shirt that was kind of like it. Here's this one. And we're going to talk about the other one, but that inspired this one, right? You can see 59 sales at $24.99. And then I also put this one 2 days later, June 27th, and still got all those sales. Now, this isn't the top selling design for the 250th 4th of July niche, but it got a lot of sales in a very, very short amount of time, even though this niche was saturated. So what does that prove? Print on demand isn't dead. People are still buying t-shirts, and if you have something that's very unique, and I think that's why this took off. The other thing was, it wasn't $24.99 at the beginning. I started it at $13.99, went and made sure it got 10 sales, and then raised the price once it got a BSR and it was on the front page. And I ran ads to it because I was in the creator group, and so I needed to run ads to stuff. So now that you know what the design is, I want to show you how I came up with this idea, how I did my research, and what led me to design something like this, and why I think this one actually caught on. I actually did a bunch of other ones, but this one caught on, and I'll let you know why I think it is. All right, so here I am on Flying Research. This is where I did my research first to figure out what I was going to design for 4th of July. So one nice thing about Flying Research is you can go back in time and see what it was. So you see I have right here when I look through it. So I have June 18th to June 21st. What was trending at that time? And you can see this is what I was seeing back then when I was doing the research. I saw this, 250, and then I saw again 250 and 250. So it wasn't a phrase that I came up with. It was one that I saw that was trending. But here's the difference. What I saw was there weren't any people on there. Well, there's Abraham Lincoln right here, but a lot of them didn't have people. It was mainly the words 250, 250. And what I was thinking was, wouldn't it be funny, because it's 250, it sounds like maybe a gangster kind of way to say it. So what if I made the Ben Franklin and George Washington making gang sign numbers with their hands? I think that would be really funny. It's because it's such a contrast, right, between George Washington and Ben Franklin, who are very, very proper, but then they're making these kind of signs that are like popular today. So I thought that would be really funny. It's not here, right? You can see it wasn't here, right? I was taking an idea that we know got sales. You can see it was getting lots of sales. And then how can I make it better? How can I make it stand out? what makes it funny. And I think that's the idea. Like, I really believe that's the reason why this design took off. It's because, one, there was a hole in the market and I found it. The hole was, it's too fitty, but there's nobody doing this specific thing with George Washington, Ben Franklin, or it could have been Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, doesn't matter. One of the founding fathers would have made it funny because they're doing something that is current, but they don't live in the current time right now, right? So let me show you now that I had the idea and how I got the idea, what I did next to design this idea. All right, so here we are in Kittl. So first step was doing the research, finding something that was trending, but then put a twist on it, something that you know is proven that people actually want to buy. So that was the 250. And then making a change to make sure that it's something very unique, but also something that people want to buy. So you have to have two of those things. It can't just be unique, but it also has to look good. And so one of the ideas was to come into Kittl here. So I come in here to Kittl, to templates, and I typed in USA t-shirt, just like that. And I love Kittl because it has a lot of cool design styles. So if you scroll through here, you can see this art style is really neat. In fact, that's this art style too. I'm going to show you where it is. I could have used any one of these, but when I scrolled through here looking for an art style, that's what I was trying to do, is like, now that I know it's going to be Ben Franklin and George Washington, what art style will I want it? Because I want that to kind of pop. I want that to, when people see it, like, whoa, this is really, really cool, colorful. And so I found this one. Let me show you. It's in here. I just scrolled down until I found something. And there it is, American Babe. What I did was I took off the words so that it was just the photo. And then I hit this right here. And then I hit image artboard. This is covering it, but then I typed in a prompt. And the prompt said something like, have George Washington and Ben Franklin next to each other. Ben Franklin on the left and George Washington on the right. Ben Franklin's holding up two of his hands with the 2 and the 5, and George Washington making a circle with 2 hands, and the American flag in the background. And then it made this right here, not these. So I just wanted the design, and then I brought in these text, this font right here. So you can see this one says 250, and I changed this to outlines mainly because I wanted it to look behind, like behind there. So I changed it to a raster, and so that I could, you can see, I kind of erased that just so it looks like it's in back of George Washington. But I went a step further, so I took this, and then actually added right here, you can see, make the 250 distress to match the artwork below. And so I have that, and that's what I ended up with right here. And then I removed the black and put it on the t-shirt. But I think that this art style is really cool. It looks kind of like an oil painting, right? And then the background is kind of more a splattered paint. And I think that's what made it sell as well, because of the realism of it. It just looks really cool. And then the splattered paint makes it look like the whole gangster kind of signs and everything. So really neat. The power of AI to take an idea that you have and create it like this, I think is really, really powerful. And it works because it all kind of works together, right? The 250 and the gangster signs and the drip paint and everything just made it work really well. And it's in a tall rectangle like this. So that's pretty much it. Those are kind of my steps that you need to follow. So first, remember, do some research. You can use something like Flying Research, or if you have Profit Tree, wherever you're selling, make sure that it's a topic that people want to buy. In this case, it was a super saturated market, right? The whole 250 4th of July. That shouldn't scare you. It should tell you that people actually want to buy these. It was always on the top sellers in Amazon. So don't be afraid of getting into these super saturated niches, even if you feel like it's a little too late. I did this 2 weeks before the 4th of July, and it still got lots and lots of sales. The next thing is you need to think of how to stand out. You notice I didn't just copy and put a flag and then put 250 on it like I was seeing everywhere else. I was trying to think like, I need to do something totally different. And this was it. This was inspired to do just that. Have that juxtaposition, make it super funny. I think having the words and then seeing this kind of made it connect, right? And that's why I think it took off, because it had a connection there. It was funny. The splattered paint and the George Washington and Ben Franklin just really stood out that way, because they're doing something that's not what they usually do. So I think that's what made it funny. So that's one way to stand out. You can still make sales when you stand out in a saturated niche. And thirdly, make sure that it's still a good design. So even though you have a good concept and it's something that people want to buy, you need to deliver on that. So if I made this in, well, we saw that I made it in a different way, it still worked, but that one also looked really good. But if I just did it in a way that it didn't look like something somebody wanted to wear, it wouldn't have taken off as well. So you have to have those two things. You need to make sure that it's original and something that people want to buy, not only because it's original, but also because it looks great. So have all those combinations, and I think that's a good way to make sure that your design gets some sales. So there you go. Hopefully that was really helpful for you, so you can see how to create a design that can take off even in a saturated market. Print on demand is not dead. Now, if you want to learn more about how to create t-shirt designs that sell, that's exactly what we do in our t-shirt community called the Shirt Heads. Now, I'll put a link in the description right here, but we have so many cool members in there and lots of design tips and tricks, and we talk about t-shirt design all the time. It's a great place to be. Come and join us. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to see another video about t-shirt design, I'll put that one right here so you can watch this. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.